So no piece of tech inspires such a complex mix of fear and awe within us, quite like the idea of living among human-like robots. But how close have we come to achieving this past promise of robot companions? And maybe the real question is, how human-like do we really want them to be? I'm Marques Brownlee, and I review dope new tech, but on this show, I'm rewinding the clock to look at the tech of the past that we thought would be our future. This is Retro Tech Robots. Hey, what's up? I'm KBHD here, and the tech we're gonna be talking about today is robots. I don't know what exactly we're about to take out the box. Let's get into it. Whoa. Omnibot, a personal robot with a programmable memory system. When did Star Wars come out? Was this before R2-D2? This is embarrassing, I don't know when it came out, but it looks like R2-D2. Omnibot was released in 1984, at a time when it had become obvious that robots with advanced AI like R2-D2 were still a long way away. Omnibot was expected to restore popular interest in robots among consumers. And this is the remote. It's pretty gigantic for what it does. Here it's got the antenna to connect to the robot. I'm gonna turn it on. We've got batteries in here. And I think I just hit the remote on button. Can you hear me now? Wow, that's pretty instant. Walkie-talkie tech is just reliable. There's a cassette tape in here, and I'm gonna hit play.
Greetings. I am Omnibot 5402. Would you like to see what I can do?
Yes? So that is hilarious. Let's see if we can set him down and set him free. I feel like there's about a half a mile an hour. I'd like some water, please. It's so slow. Cheers, thanks, Omnibot. Let's just get right into it then. Thanks for joining me. First thing I'm gonna ask you to do, though, is check underneath your chair. What comes to mind when picking that up and holding it?
Oh, God. The 1980s or 70s or 60s, maybe? I don't know.
Omnibot. Hello, Omnibot. Omnibot makes terrifying noises.
This was once the future, and now he'd just feel so old. But yeah, this is pretty badass.
So a lot of these robots that people were just imagining have hands or a face or a walking posture. Like, why do humans continue to want humanoid, relatable robots so much?
We've always been really obsessed with this idea that the robot can be like us.
Grandma, the first of 32 animatronic figures.
And one of the first times that the world really saw a humanoid robot was Electro.
And here he comes, ladies and gentlemen, Electro.
Electro was 7 feet tall, could do things like respond to speech
Okay, Toots.
and smoke.
He's almost human.
In real life, you're limited by the tech at the time. Versus in science fiction, you didn't have as many bounds of what the robot could do. Can you explain the impact that this had on the way we think about robots?
In science fiction, robots can be anything.
Welcome, gentlemen.
So many pop culture franchises revolved around robots.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm afraid I can't do that.
Robots were everywhere.
And then came 1977, there's this massive film that comes out called Star Wars.
He's been Star Wars fan since he was 6 years old. It's the be-all and end-all.
You can't overstate how big Star Wars was.
Star Wars is something akin to royalty, really.
The Force is with us.
Star Wars was a paradigm shift in how human beings understood what was possible with robots.
It wasn't as if every robot in Star Wars had the same personality, which was a bit different.
Pay attention to what you're doing.
R2-D2 had a very distinct personality from C-3PO.
I'm standing here in pieces, and you're having delusions of grandeur.
People were very interested in having their own C-3PO, having their own R2-D2 in their home.
And so the first iteration of that in the 80s is all the toys that are pumped out.
Here's Robot.
The amazing robotic.
I think our vision exceeded our abilities to create humanoid robots who functioned. But we love robots, so we're still captivated by the notion that we could have that device.
So maybe the robots from the 80s weren't all that functional, but that didn't stop companies from flooding the shelves with a wave of new humanoid robots. Some were hits, and others were misses. So I'm here with my friend Omnibot to take a look at them. You ready, Omnibot? Okay, this is dope or nope. Let's get into it. This is by Nintendo, Robotic Operating Buddy, Rob. It's a controller, it's an NES, but there's also a robot with it. This is the Rob. There's a lot of wires and stuff. We're gonna set this thing up. Wow, there's something about the simplicity. That is sweet. There you go. Robot gyro. So when I hit start, I'm now controlling Rob, and my goal, I believe, is I'm gonna try to use one of these and then put it on red or blue, and that will allow me to move the blue tube or the red tube. Drop it. To sort of decode what I feel like is going on here. Rob is looking at the TV. When I hit start, the screen turns blue. Rob sees the TV turn blue. Rob knows he's awaiting instructions. I hit instructions on the remote. The remote instructions go through the NES. Turn this on, spin this, and eventually my character will be able to go past this blue pipe. Overall, here's my take. Wow, it was a lot to try to get it to work and feel like you're controlling the robot, but I feel like, I mean, an old school NES, how can you go wrong? This one's dope, Omnibot. This is the 2XL Trivia Robot. Don't fall, Omnibot. Okay, here's the other thing in the box. Would you like to feed? No, I'll just do it here. That was very satisfying.
Thank you for turning me on. I am 2XL. A question from the movie Star Wars. When does Luke first use the Force?
You guys are not allowed to flame me in the comments for getting this wrong.
I have bad news. You are wrong. You are wrong. You are wrong. You can pick flowers, but apparently you have trouble picking answers. You are wrong. Luke first used the Force while learning how to use the saber aboard the Millennium Falcon.
I think I understand this robot, which is, it's basically just a trivia game in the shape of a robot. I'm gonna go with nope. Omnibot, what do you think? Dope or nope?
No.
All right, this next one, Sony Aibo Robot Doggo. We were talking about humanoid robots. This clearly looks like a dog. Now, it's not a real dog, but I'm assuming I have this toy ball here because it might act like a dog. Oh, word? Yo. I don't like how the eyes turned red and then it looked at me. That was kind of weird. I think if I was like a 12-year-old, I would want one of these pretty bad. I'm gonna say it's dope. Omnibot, what do you think?
I vote dope. That's my dog.
In the 1980s, from these ideas that we had in science fiction, people are starting to get into this idea they can have a personal robot in their home.
We thought we can build something that's gonna be your friend. Something that's gonna like crawl into a bed at night and pull up its covers and just be like, good night, I'll see you in the morning, best friend.
But there's a lot of things that go on to make a robot. The technology has to be there, but people are just so excited for this future of having their own robot, they're willing to just believe it.
We guarantee nobody will get in when a robot's on guard.
So there's this guy, Nolan Bushnell, who creates this company called Androbot, and he realizes early on that robots are the future.
So in '83, Bushnell unveils at CES Bob for Brains on board.
These devices will grow to be multi-purpose appliances in the home.
You can program him to say anything.
I can speak Spanish. Hola.
Bushnell does this really incredible demonstration akin to what you would expect from a Steve Jobs iPhone release.
Bob, get me a beer.
B.O.B. drives off stage and then miraculously reappears on the stage holding a beer for Bushnell, and everyone loses their mind. It was amazing. The only thing is, there was a human backstage handing the beer to this robot.
What it really was able to do was not spill a beer, which is commendable.
But when people started buying these robots for their own home, they were kind of upset and angry for Androbot's actual capabilities.
The technology was not in the place where it needed to be for Androbot to be a successful toy or tool for public consumption.
But what Androbot did do was open people's minds and imaginations to the idea that you could actually build robots. This wasn't something that was just stuck in the pages of science fiction.
R2D2 and C3PO, new loader.
So Androbot may have failed to live up to the hype, but they did help spark our fascination with building our own humanoid robots. So I'm here today with Judner, aka UrAvgConsumer,
My man.
to try to find out if we could actually build our own robot. So Judner, welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, man. Appreciate it.
Last time we were trying to fix the Walkman. So we're not
That
like,
was pretty rough. If I had to defuse a bomb and it looked like this, we're all gonna die.
you have a history of building things more than me.
I like building robot model kits.
Right. I've got like the Legos in my past. I was a Connects kid, actually. I don't know if I was amazing at it, but we'll see today if we can get something done that's maybe somewhere in between.
Okay.
How hard could it be? It's something from the 90s, right?
I mean, yeah, and we're tech guys. This
Right. It's tech.
Should be right about
We'll figure this one out. It'll be better. Let's do it. Okay, robotics. Motorized, modular, building system. How tall is this thing?
It's as tall as this kid.
Ages 7+. That looks pretty serious. So how about I do right arm, you do left arm? How about that?
Ooh, I like that.
Because we got the same pieces.
Right. I'm not gonna lie, if you beat me at this, I'll be pretty upset.
Really?
I feel like I have credibility on the line here.
You seem very confident.
I should beat you.
Okay.
Oh my God.
7 years old is like second grade or something?
That is second grade.
What's second grader? There's gonna be, I can tell already, memes of my faces while trying to take these off.
Oh yeah, the strong second grader.
Yo.
You got that? Could you imagine those little fingers working on this thing? Okay.
Come on.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
Didn't break it. Look at that. I got a rotator cuff.
Seeing the semblance of something here. All right, Marques, I'm done. Looking pretty good.
Is it perfect?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Who's gonna tell me it's not?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go ahead and try and work on something else. In the meantime, I'll see if I can do the head.
This one. This is definitely gonna work. Here we go. All right, Judd, guess who's got 2 thumbs and just finished the thumb and the whole arm? This guy.
Congratulations, man.
So let's plug them all in, because this is about as far as we're gonna get. First motor, here we go.
That's cool. That's just cool.
It's gonna reach forward and backward. Nice. Second motor, this is my hand, ready? Yo, I nailed that. How was that? Firm handshake?
Good job.
I'm gonna press yours. Hey, jaw opens.
That's nice.
I just think it's funny that you would decide to build a human-shaped thing.
Whenever we have a new piece of tech, it's to make something easier. And if you've got a robot that looks like a human, maybe you're having it do something to make your life easier.
Not that this robot was actually gonna do anything for you, but the idea was still there.
I don't know, man. If a cup is pretty far from you.
Hey, oh, I don't have that kind of reach. I got like.
You got that reach, man.
We all had different ideas of what robots of the future would look like, but no matter what shape they took, we always imagined they would serve us and make our lives easier.
Time here.
Whenever we've envisioned the future, we thought that technology is going to ease the burden on us so that we can have more leisure time.
People love this idea of having this servant that's going to do all the things that we don't want to do. And one of those first examples was Rosie the robot.
I'll get right to work, ma'am.
She's a maid robot. That's what she's programmed to do.
Just cleaning the rug, ma'am.
And you come to the present day, the robot that ultimately takes off and becomes a viable robot is the Roomba, which is the epitome of a servant robot.
Now, there's a smarter way to vacuum.
The Roomba is a perfect robot because it's not invasive to our homes and it executes a task that we all hate.
But also, they were robots that we could give personalities.
Oh! My kid kind of treats the robot vacuum like a lot of kids would treat a dog. Like, he gets excited when it comes on and runs over to see what it's doing. As a parent, I'd much rather have something that's an abstract shape where if it decides to vacuum itself down a set of steps and break, I don't feel like I need to hold a funeral.
I think the Roomba is like the perfect example. You could either have a robot that pushes a vacuum around for you, or the robot is the vacuum. So is it even a good idea to have humanoid robots? Is that a future we should look forward to?
The interesting thing about robots is that we don't like it when they seem too robotic. And there's this question of what is the appropriate amount of being human?
There's this kind of fork in the road, and that's what's called the uncanny valley of robotics. It's the closer we get to having a super humanoid robot, the more clearly we see the distinctions of what makes it not human.
If you think about how many things in your house that you can talk to, or that clean your house for you, or that lay out your directions in your car for you, if you put all of those technologies into one human-shaped metal body, we'd be a lot closer than we think.
The greatest thrust of robotics is going to be very specific, more specialized conditions of automation that are around us in a more invisible way than the humanoid robot.
So what does our perfect robot companion look like? Not too human-like to creep us out, but not too cold and machine-like that we wouldn't want to live with it. So I'm here with Mark Parsons at the Consortium for Research in Robotics in Brooklyn, home to New York City's largest industrial robot named When, to learn how Mark and his team are pushing industrial robots to interact with artists in more human-like ways and even conducting dance routines.
So this is When, that you're meeting right now. And When is the biggest industrial robot in New York City.
I'm gonna guess it's about a 9-foot arm, something like that?
Bigger.
When is New York City's largest industrial robot. She's 9 feet tall at rest, but can reach up to 14 feet high, weighs 2,816 pounds, has a reach of over 10 feet, and she has highly accurate next-generation motors. A robot of this size is not only stronger than anything any human can do, but it's also more precise. I mean, I'm seeing the end effector move not at all as the rest of the thing is moving.
That's exactly.
Is this as good as it gets as far as I'm concerned?
This is as good as it gets in terms of industrial robots.
Yeah.
Right? And you're exactly right. When is really fast, really strong, and really precise. That's what makes When traditionally used in manufacturing environments. But we're kind of hacking the software and bringing When into a much more creative, prototyping, art-making space.
I can't help but compare it to the camera robot that we program in our studio. All that really does is talk to one program where we can keyframe exactly where it goes. Not this size, but would a robot in someone's home that talks consistently enough to some software make sense more than humanoid robot?
Industrial robots are going to live with people in domestic settings. It's going to be about actually narrowing the jobs that they do.
We used to think of a robot being friendlier was one that looks kind of more like us. Do you think there's a future where the humanoid robot becomes a good idea again if the tech gets advanced enough?
A humanoid robot is either going to work harmoniously with us or it's going to threaten us.
But is it even a good idea? That's like the real question. Is that my profile picture, what it's making?
That is your profile picture.
That's gonna have to be my new profile picture. It's so fascinating to see it put those dots down. Just seeing the robot this size put together something that intricate so quickly kind of unlocks my imagination a little bit about what I feel like it could do.
Yeah, and when we kind of project forward about what it could do, we can make robots live with humans in really unique relationships in the future.
Okay, so final thoughts. The way I see it, we do have our robot future already, but human's gonna human, and we're gonna keep trying to push our way forward and imagine a future that's better and more advanced than it is today. And I don't think that should ever stop either. Either way, thanks for watching this one. Catch you guys later. Peace.